My wife owns a fair amount of houseplants. And a recent trend I have been noticing is that people are saying that owning houseplants is bad for the environment, which is wild to me because plant good. However, the problem seems to be, as explained by this small group of TikTok and Twitter activists, is that ordering plants on Amazon and other online shops is bad for the environment because of the miles accrued during transport. I'm not an expert, obviously, but even before doing some research, I figured that this was kind of silly. See, when you buy a plant on Amazon or wherever, it needs to be rush shipped, right? It's a living thing, and in order for the customer to be happy, the plant needs to be alive when it arrives. So the plant is very quickly sent from wherever it's being stored to your door. However, this plant is not the only thing being transported. It's not like they use an entire plane to transport your one plant. That's a huge waste of money on the part of the shipper. That plane was going to take off regardless of whether or not your plant was on it, if it's even being put on a plane at all. From there, the plant is put on a truck, again with a ton of other packages, and eventually it's sorted and delivered to your door. It's one plant package among thousands of other packages. The carbon footprint of these individual plants, though they exist, is likely smaller than the carbon footprint of these anti-plant activists' daily coffee runs. People also like to point out these plant miles when buying from local nurseries, but most plants from plant nurseries were transported via ground, as it's a lot cheaper that way. So your car ride to and from the local nursery has more of an environmental impact than the plant you bought. The people complaining about houseplants as environmental threats are simply doing it to look interesting, and they're doing it for attention. I mean, that's what people on the internet do. What's even more telling is that these internet activists seem to miss out on the actual environmental threat, the actual culprit, and that's peat. I didn't really know what peat was before researching for this video, and that's because the people complaining about the houseplants in the United States don't really talk about it. People in Europe and in the UK, however, know a lot about peat because governments over there are trying to significantly reduce peat usage. So, what is peat and why is it bad? Well, peat's used in compost and most potting soils. It's good for growing plants, so a lot of people use it. However, when collecting peat, also called mining peat, a lot of carbon dioxide is released, which is bad for the environment. Cutting down on peat would reduce carbon emissions immensely, and since around 60% of peat consumption is by horticulturists, which is a fancy word for gardeners, getting the public to use less peat would be beneficial. However, the kicker is that most people don't really use that much peat in their houseplants. Instead, people use peat in their outdoor gardens, and a lot of it. So if everyone quit using peat on their houseplants, it would not really make it much of an impact. But if everyone quit using peat on their gardens, it would. Instead, houseplants have a lot of positive benefits. They can make a significant impact on the air quality of your home, assuming you have enough of them, and they are great tools to help with anxiety and depression. So for myself and a lot of other people, houseplants are definitely worth it. Not to mention, they're plants. If you're really concerned about the environment, just use less peat. And make sure you don't buy plants that are designed to die and be thrown away, like poinsettias, chrysanthemums, and sprayed cacti. If you want to be an environmental activist, maybe do a little bit of research before you post stuff on Twitter. Perhaps use less plastic and more renewables, and maybe try to be a little less hypocritical and don't waste so much gas by going to Starbucks every day. Well, that's it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. You know the drill, like and subscribe. Let me know down in the comments below what you want me to do my next video on, and I might actually do it. And then after you do that, you should check out the sponsor to this video, National Realty Group. National Realty Group is a real estate company with offices located in Southern California. They're a one-stop solution office, meaning the real estate, mortgage, and escrow departments are located all in the same office. That means you can go through the whole process of buying or selling a house without the hassle of being bounced around to different companies. This makes the whole process a lot easier and a whole lot more enjoyable. Give them a call at 951-684-2600, or if you're like me and you don't like talking to people, visit their website.